Riley, hope you are doing well as always. So, how I use the pentatonic scale. At first you may think, what are you going about? It's just simple 5 shapes. You learn it, you know, and then play it. And yeah, it is that simple, to be honest with you. But I do hear a lot, and I'm sure if you're watching this, chances are you've said it, is that, you know, what else can I do with the pentatonic scale? And this could be if you've been playing for 6 months or a year, or if you've been playing for 20 years, you know. I hear that kind of a lot, like people will say, oh, what else is there to do with it? You know, I feel I'm just playing the same things over and over and over again. If you think like that, chances are you may be thinking, no, you may be playing a lot of licks. Now, when I was a younger player, I never really learnt licks, you know, or really thought of it as learning a lick. What I mean by that, say for example, I might do that a lot, you know. Now, someone could say that's a lick. For me, it's just something what's cool to play. And I've always had that kind of mentality. I've never really thought of it as like, right, okay, lick 1. Now lick 2. Now lick 3. You know, I've just thought, no, I've just kind of played. I'd put on backing tracks of different styles and then get used to playing that style. So I put like an ACDC or Led Zeppelin-esque backing track and play in that vein. Then I'd put a country kind of Eagles type backing track, play in that vein, then some Pink Floyd or some funk and some metal, and get used to playing that style, because at the end of the day it is 12 notes. I do have some little pointers if you know this is your friend, and kind of maybe thinking outside of the box, though you'll still be inside the box. But, you know, what I mean by that is, I suppose, thinking vocally, and instead of thinking everything kind of linear, like straightforward. So a lot of times you may do... Now, that there sounds cool, you know, but I'm literally just going down the scale from that A note and then going back up the scale. Now, of course, this is where phrasing comes in. You know, I could play that many different ways. I could do that, or I could... You know what I mean? So when you've got a rhythm there, there's phrasing there, it's much more lyrical. But that is still just going up and down the scale. But something like that pricks the ear up a little bit more. So I've skipped strings. I've skipped the next two. I played an A, I've skipped C and D and gone straight to E. So I'm not doing that, I'm doing that, and it's given much more of a vocal thing to it. You know, singers, if you think of all the great singers in the world, from Aretha Franklin to Frank Sinatra to, oh God, mine's going, David Coverdale. Right, that's a spectrum going on there. But, you know, they're not thinking of boxes. You know, their vocal range, no, Freddie Mercury, you know, like, his vocal, I think he could go 4 octaves or something like that, you know, like, he's not thinking of a box, he's, he's kind of doing all of that, you know. So he's playing a C to an E, you know. If I go, or, now there would be in a box. Let's put it back in, you know, our C major, A minor, shape 1 box. You know, if you know your shapes were enough, instead of it being stuck in the box, you could slide to the note. You know what I mean? So now you're being a lot more kind of vocal with it and stuff. Back to this idea. By kind of, you know, knowing your shape really well, I'm skipping over those two notes like I said. So say I want to do a cool little run. Something like that. Sounds quite cool. I haven't got a loop going or anything, but you know. It's interesting, you know, so I'm doing a little bit of hybrid picking, you might be able to see here. And however you want to end it. And even, I've talked about this before, I think, what was a lesson called? Jazzing up the pentatonic. I slid into that A there. And I remember thinking of that, like, when you slide in, doing like your kind of status quo stuff. You can do that kind of stuff with it as well, so. And knowing where your root notes are is so important by defining, you know, where the root notes are, because you think of your root notes as like full stops, if you will. So again, so there I'm sliding around on a, you know, it's all pentatonics what I'm doing. But because I know where my root notes are, I know where the root notes are on the guitar, in this case the key of A, you know, I've always got somewhere to finish my phrase, whatever I'm saying. Not that I'm saying you've got to finish all the time on a root note, but it certainly helps, you know. So let's continue that kind of skipping over. So there I'm sliding D to an E, and then I'm skipping to this C note. And that should be, if you know a little bit about intervals, this would be a major sixth interval. But so there I've got that. Now I've skipped over G and A and gone to this C. Then I was kind of using this E note as like a pedal. And I did the same thing there. Use it as C this time. So. So what I just did there as well, I suppose Eric Johnson does a little bit of this kind of stuff as well, but more chordal. But I'm playing an A, now I was going to this E, and then going to a G, both on the second string. But I'm just thinking my good old pentatonic shape, but those notes are in A minor 7. put a bit of delay on, see if I can get some Eric Johnson vibe. That kind of thing. So what I'm doing there, I've got my A, C, and A, E, and G, and I'm just going to shape 1. If you want to think of the boxes, and then I've got there B, I've got a G, and I've got an A. Then I've gone to the 12th fret on the 4th string, then 10th fret on the 2nd string. What's that? It's a D, A, and a C. D, A, and C. Was it a D minor 7? You could carry it on. That's E, C, and D. 14th fret 4th string. 13th fret 2nd string. That's just playing the same note, E, everywhere. But all these little ideas, you know, it's different. It's not going, which is still great. We don't want to knock that, you know, that kind of Clapton-esque thing, you know. But then when you mix it all together like I just did there, you know, there I'm seeing D minor. But also around that, and you might want to check out some cage stuff. I've got a cool lesson on the cage system. I always talk about this in video on my website. Check it out, mikebradymusic.com. But you know, there's D minor. Around that D minor chord, I've got shape 4 of the minor pentatonic. I had to think about that. So give this an idea, you know, if you see a note, like I say, you want to know your shapes very, very well, and then think of it all as one shape. You know, instead of dividing up in 5, that is your pentatonic shape. No, major, minor, whatever. But, you know, try it, you know, when you've got a note, instead of, you know, try skipping, you know, or skip those 2 notes, go to the 3rd. You know what I mean? So that's a bit more of an exercise, but just done that C to the octave C. Mark Knopfler comes to mind. He does that kind of stuff a lot. You know, if you think, how was it? He's, you know, that's why he's such a vocal and amazing guitar player, you know, that kind of stuff. And he's playing over the chords as well, so when he's playing an A chord, he's thinking notes of the A. But again, I'm doing that 6th. And then I did a classic kind of little run in my box shapes there. So hopefully some of this is helping. And again, I didn't really want to go, right, here's some licks and, you know, just going against my point, you know, is kind of taking the ideas and also, you know, listening to this kind of stuff and then incorporate it into your playing. Listening is really, really important. You know, if you want to be a good metal guitar player, listen to a lot of metal guitar playing, and then that stuff, you know, your brain will just soak that kind of thing out. And if you want to play a lot of different styles, like I used to do, or like to do, you know, put on, you know, if you're into blues, put on a metal backing track and start playing in that, you know, genre. And if you're into metal, and put on a blues backing track and start playing it. You know what I mean? Like, so then you're just, you know, define your palette as a guitar player and a musician. So that's my food for thought. Anyway, let me know your thoughts, and let me know also how you get on with this, you know. And it's certainly, yeah, hopefully it's something a bit different, but definitely that vocal thing, thinking like a vocalist, and, you know, the Freddie Mercury thing. Ayo. So that's D to A, so Ayo. Oh, Ayo, Ayo. Anyway guys, thank you for your love and support. If you haven't done so already, do subscribe, and you've got to hit the bell now as well. YouTube wants you to subscribe and hit the bell. The things you got to do. Thank you for your love and support to all the followers as always, and people supporting Patreon. And if you want to be really, really supportive, like I say, check out my website, mikebradleymusic.com. You can get some lessons there which are on YouTube. There's links in the description box below. You can get some t-shirts I've got now. Some of the links will be in the description box, and do check them out. It means a lot. And I have music out, as people are always surprised when if I post something on Instagram and like, I didn't know you sing and you've got songs. So there is music out on iTunes and Spotify and all that kind of stuff. So check it out if you're ever bored. Anyway, hope you're good and well, and I will see you very soon. Mike Bradley very much signing out. Bye!
The devil's on my side.